Hi. Are we live? Let me check. Okay, we're live. Amazing. So I'm hoping some of you have said you're going to make it live. I hope I get some live people, and if not, if you're on the replay, hello, welcome. I'm so excited for this masterclass today. It's been a hot minute since I gave a live free masterclass. For those of you who have been following me, I had long COVID for like 15 months and I really shifted my business and was doing a lot of pre-recorded stuff and just making it as easy as possible to manage my energy. But my energy is back and I'm very excited to be coming live and sharing this content with you today. So hi, I see some people are hopping on. Say hello in the comments. Hi, Carolina. And yeah, this is going to be epic. So I'm going to leave some time for questions at the end, and we're going to be developing some copy together. So if you do want feedback, you can wait till the end and you can drop what you're writing in the comments, and I can, spend some time giving some feedback for you. And of course, please participate in the comments. If any questions come up, anything that's coming up for you that you want to share, please chime in and I will go with the flow and I will pop in and check the comments as we go along. So hi Maria, hi Carolina. Yay, so excited to see you all. Okay, so get comfy and let's dive into Sales Rising. So, okay, all you're gonna need for this is to know your rising sign. That's it. We're not gonna get super fancy into your chart. So know your rising sign and you are good to go. And what we're gonna focus on is I have developed some really freaking awesome content prompts around your ascendant and your descendant signs. So I'm gonna share that with you in a little bit, and I'm gonna show you how you can use this to really get to that next level of clarity and confidence and exactly what to write about in your social media posts to turn your engagement from "this is inspiring" to "send me the link, I want to sign up for your program right now." And really how understanding your rising sign can tell you so much about what is so unique about you, particularly that will resonate with your soulmate client. And we're going to talk about specifically the soulmate client for your high ticket offer. So yeah, I'm obsessed with this way of using the chart. I'm very excited to share it with you. And we're going to talk a little bit about how your descendant sign can reveal what's compatible about you for your soulmate client. How cool is that? So this is really, with the intent to help you stop second guessing who your soulmate client is, and also stop talking to the wrong people in your content who are never going to invest in your work, because people buy from you for you. So the most important thing I want you to take away from this whole concept of using your astrology chart to create better sales content is that it's just about bringing more of you. So please promise me that you will take nothing that I say as a reason to make yourself wrong. And if you ever, it is very easy to get up in our head about this and to be like, well, which parts of my highly multifaceted nature should I talk about right now in this, 220 characters or whatever it is? Just bring all of you, bring your heart, bring your truth. This is ultimately what will fast track your relationship with soulmate clients and lead them to trust you, to understand you, to connect with you, and feel very confident about buying from you. So I'm going to show you how to apply these insights from your chart to watch your sales numbers rise consistently by sharing your story in focused and authentic ways on socials. So, hi Tesla, Capricorn rising. Okay, amazing. Yeah, share your rising sign in the comments. I'm excited to see what we have here. So, okay, how to use this masterclass. Grab a notebook or open a notes app or Word doc or Google Doc or wherever it is that you can, want to capture some notes. And I really invite you, as we're in this portal of content inspiration, to pay attention to the insights that come up with you Pay attention to content ideas that bubble up, and really, use this to ignite you, to ignite your content flow, and please take action on them. Like, go and create some content. Do the best that you can today. Go on and show up. The best thing that you can possibly do is show up imperfectly and keep showing up and keep sharing and keep telling your story. Even if you feel like it's not perfect and you're not quite nailing it, keep showing up. So my intention is for you to feel empowered and for you to feel inspired, and like your content tap is just flowing and you have lots of ideas and you feel excited to share and to talk about who you are and what you do. So please take some time after this or rewatch this. And when those content ideas start to bubble up, write them down, share them, take action on them, invite people into your offers, and take the energy and the shift and the inspiration from this content and turn it into real posts and actions. So why should you listen to me? My name is Sarah Mack. Hi, for those of you who know me, for those of you who are new. I want to share with you how I built the skill of using content to generate repeatable 5-figure launches and 6-figure years. And I want to start off by telling the story. I was reflecting on why has this been so much easier for me than it has been for a lot of people that I see out there who are creating a ton of content and aren't making the sales. And, I got to 6 figures within 13 months of launching my coaching business. And here's why. I want to break down why I have succeeded at this so that you can understand how to fill those gaps for yourself. Because making this money has happened relatively easily and consistently and quickly for me. Obviously, I have my ups and downs. I've been an entrepreneur for almost 10 years now, which is crazy. But I have been making money consistently every single month. And I stopped doing sales calls more than 5 years ago because my content does all the selling for me. So I want to address why this can feel hard for a lot of people, why we doubt ourselves, why we overcomplicate our content and message, why we end up creating a ton of content without it successfully leading to sales. Or maybe even it leads to sales, but from clients who just aren't a good match, or aren't joyful and easy to work with, or are just really freaking annoying in the sales process. This is really the art of soulmate client attraction through authentic content selling and storytelling. And I want to share how I'm going to make it easier for you today and how we can use our astrology chart to sell more effectively and easily and have a lot more fun in the process. And this is really my favorite thing about incorporating astrology into content. If you're anything like me, you're obsessed with it and it's really fun and it's a great tool for self-reflection. And so I think, it's just something else that we can add into the mix that makes us excited to create. And that's really the most important thing, because if we're having fun, it is going to be easier to be consistent and to create that momentum and to create the results and the sales and the clients and the impact that we really desire to make. So I believe I was really so lucky that I started out as an entrepreneur, as a copywriter. So I learned to write copy for other people. And copywriting is actually so easy. And I'm not gaslighting you here. I will explain where I'm coming from around this. It's simple techniques. And I learned this very quickly. And I was making a lot of money from doing it for other people while I was traveling the world. I started my business in India or in Bali, and then India. I was recovering from a burnout, which, turned out to be CPTSD from unprocessed childhood sexual trauma. I was in the process of immigrating to Canada to be with my now husband. I was going through a lot, but I mastered these techniques just from studying it for a while and not super long, and just working with clients and being able to apply my ability to write and my ability to tell stories in this new, very specific way to help people sell their work and to help people make money. So I started attracting coaches as clients. That's what introduced me to the coaching industry. I discovered mindset work and started applying that to my own business and, really working on the ish that was coming up for me around money mindset and pricing my work and wanting to charge a lot more and, you know, marketing myself and my services and kind of getting more niche and getting clearer and clearer on who I wanted to work with and who I didn't want to work with, and how to package and sell offers, how to move away from time for money and, you know, create scalable programs, start selling high ticket. And I doubled my income twice in 2 consecutive years. And so the first year after I doubled my income, I was like, holy shit, this really works. And this was really why I started my coaching business, because I could see how I could create the most perfect piece of copy for clients. But if they had some mindset stuff going on, they were never going to take that copy and actually turn that into sales and clients and impact. So really, I learned the skill of selling through content writing for others. So when I launched my first business, which was my copywriting agency, Juicy Copy, I knew how to do it for myself. I knew how to take these tools and techniques and apply them to my own business, because I'd written for well over 1,000 different entrepreneurs by that point. So here's the takeaway from this. I had faith in the techniques. I had faith in the strategy that I had learned. And so I began to use it for myself, and I began consistently signing clients. And I had faith in myself and my ideas. So often what can happen is, if you haven't like really got these techniques down for yourself, for your own business, I see that people, it starts to give them like a wavering faith in their ideas. Like, maybe my idea isn't good enough. Maybe I'm focused on the wrong client. Maybe, you know, my copy isn't good enough. And like, we start to problem shoot and we don't really know exactly what's not working. And that just kind of like compounds onto the self-doubt and the imposter syndrome that's already a very natural part of becoming an entrepreneur. So, you know, I'm so grateful that I had that beginning, and I wrote for over 1,000 different kinds of entrepreneurs. And believe me, I have seen how you can sell absolutely anything on the internet. I've seen it all, from garden feng shui to magic wands, like really, really niche stuff that I never even knew existed. And so that really gave me the belief that anything can be sold. And it showed to me that if you're passionate about something, if you believe it's valuable, if it's added value to your life, like, that is enough. That is enough proof that it is valuable, excuse me, to other people, and that you can put a price tag on it and you can sell it, as long as you can communicate it in a powerful way. So, why it feels hard. Okay, I love that you're all sharing your rising sign in the chat. Hold on, let me open this so I can see all of the chat. So get comfy. Shush. Cool. Okay, so why does this sometimes feel hard? I see how this can feel hard when you're building these skills for yourself while selling your own work. And there's, you know, a few really, really good reasons for this. And I'm sure these aren't news to you, but I just want to name them so that we can, your unconscious can start to be like, oh yeah, there's nothing wrong with me when this feels hard. So number one, social patriarchal conditioning to not value ourselves, our gifts, our labor, or our intellectual knowledge. Like, as women, as creators, as healers, as magical witchy people, standing up and sharing our work and charging lots of money for it and being abundantly paid for it, this is revolutionary. This is very, very new in our society. So, you know, that's the second reason is just all the money mindset-ish. Like, there's a lot of religious cultural brainwashing around it being shameful to desire money for yourself. And I go into this in my book that's going to be published this year. Stay tuned for that. You know, combined with not really being given any actual skills for asking for and generating and managing and growing money and wealth in ways that actually feel good to us, because, you know, we're highly sensitive, we're empathic, we, you know, have like multifaceted lives and desires and families and health and bodies and cycles that doesn't fit into the 24/7 like patriarchal paradigm. That's, you know, very hyper masculine and is a very toxic industrial labor practice that, you know, our society has really been built upon. So again, revolutionary, like, we're trailblazing, we're asking to do things differently because the old way doesn't work for us. So there's just a lot of rewriting and a lot of reconditioning and a lot of having to hold new beliefs that are constantly denied in the culture around us. So the next reason is also just creative, cultural money mindset stories about, it being hard to make money and have creative fulfillment and joy in our work. I was literally sat down, I'm sure many of you resonate with this story, and my mom told me, you can't go to university, we can't afford to send you. You should just go and become a secretary. And my mom was an artist, and I knew she fucking hated being a secretary, but she still believed that, it's not possible to be creative and to be financially well taken care of. My teachers reaffirmed that message to me over and over again. And I had to recondition so many of these belief systems to get to where I am today. And then the last one is a really big one. It's all of that unconscious resistance to being seen for our authentic truth. So we have been conditioned our whole lives to hide because it is safer. And most likely all of us have had past lives where, magical people like us were literally burned alive at the stake for sharing our healing powers with others. So the fear and the resistance, whether it's from this life or previous lives or epigenetics that has been handed down from our mothers and our grandmothers and our great grandmothers, the fear and resistance is real and it runs through our veins. So no biggie, right? Why are you struggling with your content? So, here's the reality in this day and age. These days, it is safe to make a lot of money, and it is safe to share our gifts and to be visible. We're most likely not going to get burned at the stake. And, like I'm doing right now, we can do this from the comfort of our own home. We don't have to go out there into the town square and get tomatoes thrown in our face. However, we do, it is genuinely true that we open ourselves up to criticism, to attack, to judgment and rejection from friends, from family, from teenage boys trolling you on the internet, or other adults with the emotional intelligence of very dysfunctional teenage boys. I've got nothing against teenage boys, but let's also name that, because it is unpleasant and it is a risk that we take. And when you are creating something new in the culture, of course you're going to get resistance. Of course you're going to get people that don't like what you're saying, don't agree with you, and maybe, vehemently deny the things that you're saying and get very aggravated and triggered about what you're saying. So this is the risk that we have to be willing to take on in order to get the things that we want and to have the impact that we're feeling drawn towards, and to share the truth and to have the satisfaction and the fulfillment of sharing our truth and having that impact people in positive ways, and being financially rewarded as a result of taking that risk. So this is what might be happening in your content and business as a result. Number one, hiding through vague language, writing in too many fluffy personal development cliches that really hold no actual information that shows who you really are. So, yes, there's a lot of terminology that holds resonance for people. Words like boundaries or self-love or empowerment or living your best life, right? Living your fullest potential, making more money, having better relationships, right? No matter what your niche is, there's words and vocabulary that you've read over and over and over again that drove you to the result and to learn what it is that has helped you to embody where you are. But this is not helpful copywriting, because it loses its meaning when there's, thousands, if not millions of other people using these cliches. So, you'll learn later what I have to say about competition. I don't believe that we have competition, but we have to be able to bring the specificity that allows people to see how we are different from all of the other people out there, doing very similar work. Because in actual truth, once we get down to it, we are also different, and we get there in different ways, even if some of the fundamentals are very similar. So, the other thing that's happening very frequently is finding it really challenging to get into those specifics that make it easy and clear for your clients to see how you can help them. Why is this? It's because it's super fucking vulnerable. And I'm still challenged by this. It takes so much courage to stand up on the internet and be like, this is me. And I'm fucking awesome and you should buy from me, right? And to share the specifics of your life, like, it is vulnerable and it takes courage. And another reason why this can feel challenging is we have a lot of conditioning around not feeling good enough, always striving for the next level. And especially as entrepreneurs, like, we're usually very driven, we're usually very ambitious, very focused, very obsessed with personal development and learning and becoming better people. And we become very quickly so blind to the value that we hold in the present moment. This is a bad situation that we fall into. And it's literally the Achilles heel when you want to be making more money, because we're constantly consuming content and looking up to people and learning and focusing on our goals that we become so blind to where we are today that used to be on our vision board and we used to be journaling about like 6 months ago, a year ago, 2 years ago. And if you're not able to connect with your value right now in the present moment, you can't possibly expect a client to connect with that. And that's really the key to asking people for lots of money, is to be able to be connected to that first. So it doesn't matter how good enough or not good enough you feel like you are, or how fully embodied or wobbly you feel like you might be in the work that you're selling, which I have more to say on in a moment. What's important to remember is that for the right client, your current situation is their dream come true already. No matter, even if you feel like you're on like the starting line of your next chapter, even getting to the starting line of your next chapter means that you've been through and you've completed a previous chapter, and that's super fucking valuable. And a lot of the time, like I said, it's vulnerable to talk about what we've been through and what has been hard for us, and maybe what we feel like we haven't fully mastered or integrated yet. But there's always so much value to tap into and to embody and to focus on. And when we really learn to do that well, this is, really what I mean by the concept of this masterclass, is in really tapping into and embodying your superpowers. And a lot of those are innate things that have been with us throughout our whole life that, again, we are so blind to, because it can often come very naturally to us, and it's evolved so many times throughout our lifetime. So know that this is a skill, being able to diligently and specifically articulate why where you are right now is so freaking awesome. Gratitude unlocks abundance, and you have to be able to do that visibly and publicly if you want to have successful sales numbers. That is just the bottom line and a fact. Yes, it's uncomfortable. Yes, it's vulnerable, but you can do it. You've done way harder things than this in your life. So just decide right now, this skill gets to become easier for you. So the other thing that makes it difficult to do this in our content is that when you're a teacher and you step into sharing your work, the universe is always going to give you your next level assignment in your own teachings. I don't know if you have noticed this, like, let me know if this resonates with you. So as you step out, you create this program, you're like, you know what, I'm really good at this, and this has been really life-changing for me, and I'm going to create an offer around this. Hey everyone, this is what I'm really great at. This is what you should come and get some support from me around. Suddenly, you're brought to your knees behind the scenes by your latest growth challenge. I'm sure you can think of times that this has happened for you. If you teach money, expect some money growth challenges. If you're teaching relationships, expect some shit to go down in your relationships. If you're teaching health, boundaries, career coaching, expect your next lesson. So please just take a moment to let this sink in, because so often it's emotional, right? When we're going through growth, and we have to be able to step outside of ourselves and be like, oh, this is feeling really hard right now, but I'm still able to show up as all of these things that I have embodied up until this point. I'm still able to say, even though I'm feeling challenged right now, and some of these things that I'm talking about don't feel super easy right now, actually, like, I've led myself through this so many times, and here are all of the things that I've done that are undeniable, that I have wisdom around, that I'm grateful for, and that has changed my life. So I can honestly remember being told that it is a bad way to want to be wealthy. Yeah, Maria says happens every time. Okay, I'm glad this is resonating. So, takeaway. Guess what? Your growth, your challenges, your life is your greatest value. And it gets to become material to teach people how you lead yourself through growth. And this is what qualifies you more than anything else to support your client. People aren't interested in working with or buying from people who have it easy, people who appear to be perfect. So it's not about trying to be perfect. It's not about, it's not about having consistent results in everything that you claim. Like, you're gonna have wobbles, you're gonna have dips, you're going to fall down to your knees and then pick yourself back up again. And you're gonna rise higher and higher and higher every time that happens. This is not about being the best in your industry. This conversation is about your empowered self-leadership, particularly when it comes to high ticket. You have to lead with your most impressive results. And again, like, I'll reiterate, don't hear when I say impressive results, don't hear like, oh, they need to be better than everybody else. I need to be perfect before I can claim this as a result. No, people aren't just fucking around to find out with 5K and up investments, even $500 or $1,000. You have to be so connected to your value and to be able to talk about it clearly and confidently if you want selling and filling your high ticket offers to be easy and consistent. And guess what? Your specific qualities and specific challenges become the training ground for what makes you the perfect match for a very specific type of client. And this is what makes your competition irrelevant. You can be selling the exact same solution as 5,000 other people in your industry, but your unique life experience sets you apart from everybody else, which is why leading with our story and really being connected to what is unique about us is so, so, so powerful when it comes to selling. So, for me, I still feel challenged by getting into the specifics. I still have all of that conditioning that when I sit down, it's so much easier to be vague. I experience resistance. I get lazy. I avoid it. I get vague. I don't want to do it. But I trust the technique. I trust the strategy. And I trust myself to be able to continually do uncomfortable things to get the results that I want. And although it doesn't necessarily get easier, I get stronger at holding higher levels of discomfort. And I create consistent support for myself to do this challenging thing, which definitely makes it easier, because when I don't have support, I let the resistance take over. And we're just not designed to do anything big and challenging alone. And that is the simple truth. And can you just for a moment consider how ridiculous it is, the idea that we should somehow be able to do this by ourselves? We're literally changing the course of our culture by standing up and being visible, doing the work that we're doing. We're rewriting centuries and generations of oppression by claiming our voice and our gifts and being willing to risk rejection and criticism for the sake of following our hearts and building the communities we want to see. This is huge work, which is why I'm so happy that you're here. So my intention with sharing all of this for you is to feel validated. And obviously when these things are brought to our awareness, we're already over them. And yes, these are patterns, and yes, this is ongoing work. And yes, there's always going to be another level of mindset work and skill and commitment and support as we take bigger and bigger strides in doing this work. But, having the awareness of it, being able to name it, being able to separate ourselves from these feelings when they come up, these challenges of feeling resistance or feeling confused or, like wanting to hide or wanting to be lazy in the way that we're showing up and sharing when we're having to do, consistently churn out content to stand out and to be visible and to attract consistent clients. So, full permission for you to follow the path of least resistance way for you, and make sure you're empowering yourself. Make sure you have your own back. Make sure whenever it does feel challenging, you're not beating up on yourself and asking questions like, what's wrong with me? Or why am I having to enroll in my 120th content program? Because I have been doing this for 10 years and yet still I need support with it for this to be easy and consistent and sustainable for me. So be kind to yourself. Love yourself on this very big and important mission that you are on. keep going and it will get easier. You will get stronger and those skills will become more embedded. And most importantly, you're going to develop a process that you can lean on. So you can trust the strategy. You can trust your tools and techniques to work for you because you've practiced. And when you have a wobble, you're going to get back on track so much faster because you understand how to care for yourself in this process. So I'm going to check the comments. Okay, we've got Scorpio rising, Pisces rising, Aquarius rising, Capricorn rising, Libra rising. Yay! Hi, Fabi. Cool. Okay, so let's dive into the concept of this class, which is the key theme of our rising sign. So this is our first house. So this is about empowerment and self-leadership. And when when you're selling a high ticket program, you're a leader. You're raising your hand and saying, hey, I want to lead you. I can lead you. So this is about you leading yourself. This is about empowered leadership, and selling is really about leading with and celebrating your strengths. This is what selling is. And I think, especially in 2024, content it's a whole thing now. Like we have everyone has a freaking media empire. Just one channel alone is a media empire on itself. There's so many different types of content. There's so many different ways of leveraging different types of content. And it's very easy to be caught up in busy work, right? And creating content that's not actually leading to sales. So my invitation for you moving forward, this is what has been the single thing that has allowed me to create consistent money, is to remember, if you are going to show up and create content today, let it be sales content. If you've created your sales content, please create as much other content as you feel inspired to create. But don't fall into the trap of showing up and just chatting on the internet without intentionally selling your shit, because you won't make money until you get really good at doing this consistently and daily. And remember this, selling is leading with and celebrating your strengths. So that has to be the number one conversation that you are having on the internet if you want to be making more money. So this is what we're going to tap into in our rising sign. So your descendant is the point that's exactly opposite your rising sign on your chart. No matter what type of chart you're looking at, it's always the exact opposite chart because it's a line that goes right through the center of your chart. And this is your 7th house. So rising sign is your 1st house. Descendant sign is your 7th house. And this is all about your relationships and who you attract and what your compatibility is. And so I'm super excited about this kind of hack for discovering some of the qualities that make your soulmate client compatible to work with you, and compatible in a way that it's really supportive for them. Who you are naturally, innately, the gifts and the strengths that you embody, that is helpful for them in and of itself. So one of my favorite things that I always tell my clients is just show up and open your mouth, And this is really true embodied wisdom and really connecting to our value right now in the present moment, knowing that when you have the right client, all you need to do is show up and open your mouth, and then what you have to share, what you have embodied, is enough. I'm going to sneeze. Excuse me. Oh, hi, Petra. Yay. I'm so happy you're here too. Okay. So this applies to all relationships, not just clients. So there's a lot that you can tell about the type of partner that you're going to be compatible with by looking at your 7th house. Obviously, there's so many other placements that can contribute to your compatibility. And when I'm talking about these signs, this is not if you're a Leo rising, if you're a Virgo rising, that means all of your clients are going to be Pisces. No, not at all. But what it does mean is that there's likely some Piscean energy happening in their chart. And, whether that's a specific placement, or whether that's, they have a lot of 12th house placements, for example, which is ruled by Pisces. So this isn't really cut and dry in the sign. It's really about the energy that is present in the chart. So for example, with my partner, I'm a Virgo rising. I have a Pisces 7th house, and my husband has his Mars in Pisces. So, you know, that's like one element that creates compatibility. So when you have an awareness of the balance and the way that these qualities balance each other out and complement each other, that's going to give you some really great insights around how you fill the gap for your clients. And ultimately, this is the information that they need to feel really confident about buying from you over everybody else, is when they see that the way that you do it, the qualities that you embody, the strengths that you have are particularly complementary to their weaknesses, to the things that they need support with. You become the obvious choice. And when I discovered this, I saw how, you know, it just made me really, really clear on some of the patterns that were obviously I knew about, but it just helped me have like a deeper level of understanding of my compatibility with the types of clients that I can really help, and I have a lot of strength and ability to be able to help. And so this is about your strengths complementing and filling in and strengthening their weaknesses. And this, you know, it can be on the subtle level, just with complementary qualities. So yeah, let's hit, okay, so yeah, your 7th house is Leo. Yeah, wherever the opposite sign is, that's going to be your descendant. So I have some prompts that I'm going to share with you, but first let me kind of like introduce you to the process that we're going to go through today. So, so remember what I said about sales. It's about leading with and celebrating your value. So if like your biggest takeaway from this class today that's going to help you more money is to lead with your results. And the exercise that I'm going to share with you today is going to give you some tools to brainstorm some results. So before you start spiraling about this, just be open and trust the process, okay? Like, don't overthink this. Be in the creative flow and let it lead you to that next level of skill around this. So number one, take out your notepad, and I want you to just spend 2 minutes, quick fire, brain dump all of the top results of your offer. So just anything that comes to mind. Don't worry about being like, oh, I don't have to make it not sound fluffy. Just write down exactly what comes up into your head for now. Make a shopping list. When somebody comes into your offer and they go all the way through it and they get all the, you know, possible results and their life has changed and they're so happy and everything's amazing, what are some of the most exciting results? What are some of the potential outcomes, big and small? You know, it can be, and also this is a really helpful way of framing results for my clients who are usually, you know, magical, witchy people. So a lot of it is internal transformation, right? So you can actually list the internal and the external results. So an internal result could be, I stopped judging myself, or I stopped overthinking, or I started getting clear on what I actually want, you know, in the specific area that you help them with. And then an external result could be, I started asking, you know, I asked my partner for blah, blah, blah. I asked for more money and I put my prices up. I, you know, reached out and booked a speaking engagement. I booked a new client. I, you know, started sleeping 8 hours a night. I started drinking 2 liters of water a day. Like, list all of the potential micro and like big life-changing results. Like, I moved to the place I really wanted to live. I launched my dream business. All of the potential possible results. And this can be based off of things that you've actually done and experienced as a result of the work that you offer. And it can be based off of actual client results and experiences from people that you've worked with. And it can also be based off if there's like another type of client that you haven't worked with yet, that you really want to be supporting and that you're really excited about. What would some of those results be that you would be really excited to celebrate with people? So, okay, drop some of your examples down on your notepad. Feel free to drop them in the chat as we go. And okay, I'm going to share, as you're doing that, I'm going to go and share the link to the prompts that I made, which you're going to love. By the way, if I'm You're like, why is she bopping around? I'm doing my standing desk. I thought I would experiment with not sitting down when I did this. So I've dropped the link to the prompts in the chat. Let me open this up for myself. So what we have here, so you're going to look for your rising sign, and then underneath your rising sign, you are going to have your identity statement. So this is an identity statement connected to the key qualities of this rising sign. And, you know, first of all, I just want to come into this with a disclaimer. If you disagree with this, with my interpretation, use your own, you know, use astrology as a tool for self-reflection, to empower yourself. This is not the gospel truth. This is a text. You know, everybody expresses these energies in very unique and sometimes very different ways. So this is a tool for you to connect with yourself and to use it in your own way. So switch up the language to whatever resonates with you and whatever inspires you most and helps you feel more connected to the truth of who you are. And remember, all parts of the zodiac sign are present within us. You know, this is the sky in the moment that we were born. All of the sky was there. It was in a different place on each of our charts. So you can absolutely take inspiration and use the other content prompts from the other signs as well. If they're sparking something inside of you, or if you have a lot of placements in one of these signs, then these energies are totally going to be resonant for you. But for the sake of today, we are going to focus on your rising and descendant sign. So underneath the rising sign, you're going to have your identity statement. This is really the way to show up, the way to lead, the way to talk about yourself and to show up in your brand. And then I have a content prompt for your rising sign, which is really just a jumping off point for you to express that energy in the message that you're sharing and the way that you're talking about it. So here's just an example. Aries rising, identity statement. I am an empowered leader. I am willing to go first. So this is the highest expression of your rising sign, of your leadership. So whenever you're feeling wobbly, like do whatever it is you got to do to get into this highest expression of your leadership. And the content prompt is, I've decided to do things differently, and here's why. So you can see how this prompt, I've designed it to help you access and express the highest version of your leadership. So, you know, if you read this content prompt, you're like, oh, well, I feel like I'm not doing anything differently and I'm just trying to do everything like everybody else. Then you can be like, okay, so do something differently today. You know, mix it up. And these are the types of things that are going to shift your energy, that are going to turn people's heads and be like, oh, like I see her doing her own thing. I see her standing out and leading in her own way. And that is so freaking magnetic. So for Aries rising, the descendant is Libra. So I've put the soul client key lessons. So this is, you know, one of the main things that they might feel challenged by, that they, you know, are being called to step into. So for a Libra descendant, and remember, this doesn't mean that your ideal client is a Libra descendant. This just means that there's this Libran energy and this Libran growth that is something that you can really serve with your unique strengths and superpowers. So just speaking to these concepts and being aware of how these are showing up in your clients is going to just give you that extra layer of clarity. So it's your leadership, your, you know, Aries strength that gives you that oomph and that self-leadership power. This is something that is really valuable to your client. This is something that they, having your support, is going to support them to step into that within themselves. So common issues for Libran energy, people pleasing, leaky boundaries. So that's likely something that in addressing that is really going to support your clients to help them to get to whatever result it is that you help them create. Their desires, like the way they want to do it, the way they want to feel, their value system, what's important to them, beauty, harmony, justice. So these can be really valuable to think about when you're branding, you know, and like the language that you use, the imagery that you use, how you talk to your client, and then the content prompt. So the content prompt is the same for all signs, and I put one way for a reason. Just focus on one thing at a time in your posts. And this is the cool thing about content, right? It's like, obviously on your sales page, you want to niche down into the very specific results, but in your content, you have that freedom and that space to go into those micro lessons, as well as talk about those big, shiny results and impact that your work makes. So just talk about one at a time, and this can generate so much content for you, so many ideas for you. So talk about one way I help my clients create, and then insert top specific desired result. So look at the qualities listed under desires and take a moment to reflect on how your work helps them to embody or express that, and use that as a filter to speak to them and to frame your work in those ways that's really going to land with them, with their unique desires and drives. And, one way I help my clients create their top specific desired result when they're experiencing challenges with and speak to these challenges. So I'm going to give you a moment now to just brainstorm on some of these things, like what comes up for you around this. How do you see that your clients in particular are challenged by some of these things, and how does it relate specifically to the work that you do? So, okay, so the exercise right now is to pick one of the prompts. You can pick your rising sign or your descendant sign prompt and just brainstorm a bunch of titles. And my challenge to you is to take your list of results and include one result in each one. So don't overthink this. You don't have to be like, oh, what's the perfect result? Just come up with a bunch of potential titles. And I'm going to share some examples from myself to kind of give you some context. But if there's any reflections that you have that you want to share in the chat, or like looking at things, or does this resonate for you? Is it kind of sparking ideas? Do you maybe have a different interpretation of how you express these signs? Are you seeing any patterns emerge in your clients when you look at some of these themes? I'm very curious to know. Okay, Megan is already on fire with doing it. Yes. 7th house is Virgo. Top results of working with me: more calm, peace, more centered, being able to find things and to have more space to do things. Yeah, creating that order. I love that. So good. Okay, so for me, my rising is Virgo, and my client is Piscean energy. So I have been working with artists for a really long time, and one thing, and I have worked with a lot of musicians as well. And when I learned this, I was like, oh, okay. The insight that came through for me was, obviously my strength is daily habits. Like, I know this is very classic for a coach, but as a creative person, as someone who has struggled very similarly to my clients in like not having follow through, not having structure, not having consistency in my income, or consistency in my results, or my healthcare, or my money management, right? These were all major challenges for me. And the thing that helped me to turn that around was creating consistent daily habits. And this is truly one of my strengths, and helping my clients to basically find their way in to create consistent content, to create consistent money, to create consistent audience growth, to consistently, create money in. And the thing that makes me unique about many other business coaches is like, I know that for me and for other creative types, we're never going to stick to things that we don't enjoy. And it has to be fun, and it has to feel authentic, and it has to be creatively fulfilling, and it has to be in alignment with our heart and what we value. And, that's really the values of the Pisces descendant. It's having that courage, tapping into intuitive wisdom, creative expression, having really good boundaries instead of just being freaking all over the place with that creative energy. Issues of leaky boundaries, lack of self-trust, undervaluing self and work, and being ungrounded. So, I create daily habits, processes, support, education to help people to do all of those things. And So here's an example for the types of prompts that I could write. One way I help my clients to grow to 6 figures, have a better feeling relationship with money, sign their next client, fill their high ticket offer, have more time freedom in their business, work 3 days a week, you know, any of these things that I have created, I can just insert one of the results there. When they are experiencing challenges with like creating consistent sales through their content, and some of the topics that I could talk about could be helping them develop a mindset of self-trust, building consistent content creation habits. I give edits and feedback to help them improve their copywriting and storytelling. I help them design a content strategy that feels fun and accessible and creative for them, so it's easy to stay consistent, right? So just list some of the things that you do. And what this prompt can do for you is really unlock that clarity of how you actually help people and getting into some of those micro specifics. And remember, all you need to do is tell the truth, like line by line. One of my favorite prompts that makes me so much freaking money is what happened on my client call. And literally, you know, it could be one of my clients booked a call because she wanted to sell her high ticket offer, and one of the ways that I helped her on this call was blah 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 blah. She was focused on this, and then we, you know, changed the language in this way, then we wrote her sales page, then she blah 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 blah, and I can just exactly describe what I did to help her. When you can put that into words, it is so freaking crystal clear what it's going to look like to work with you, how you help people, and what the result is that you're helping people to get. So yeah, get some titles down and put them in the comments, and let's have a look at what you've got. So pick any of the prompts that you want. If you want to pick your rising sign prompt, again, that is just a jumping off point for you to really stand out in your leadership. And remember, when you tell the truth is good enough. So let me check the comments over here to see how we are doing. Okay, Maria's got one here. Megan, you're a musician. I didn't know that. How funny. Yeah, and this always happens when you lead with authentic storytelling in this way. You know, clients show up, and then the more you find out about them, you're like, oh, I didn't even know that about you, but we're so, you know, we're so compatible in so many ways. Maria, one way that I help my clients to create more loving and supported relationships where they feel seen, heard, and celebrated is by empowering them to speak their truth and show up as their authentic self. I love that. So good. And yeah, even, you know, you could take out where they feel seen, heard, and celebrated. That could be the hook, the opening title. One way that I help my clients to create more loving and supported relationships, right? And the reason I'm giving you this exercise in this way is so you can create these titles, and then when you sit down to write, you have a jumping off point where you can be in flow and you can write from the heart. You can share whatever it is that's coming up for you, but you're going to have that opening hook that if somebody is skimming your social media, it's so bloody clear what you help people get. So you're going to stop people on the scroll, and then they're going to read the rest and they're going to connect with you. And if somebody comes across your channel and they start scrolling, if you're opening all of your posts with a clear result that you know your people desire, you bet you're going to get so many more people's attention than if you're rambling on about some other vague thing. So then you can share where they feel seen, heard, and celebrated. You could be like, how I help them to go from like feeling ignored, feeling unseen, feeling disrespected, in their relationships to feeling seen, heard, and celebrated is, one thing that really, really helps my clients to create the shift is blah, 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 blah. Alexis, let's have a look. What she got so far on a half functioning brain. Amazing. Descendant Taurus. One way I help my clients create a personal brand that sells consistently when they're experiencing challenges with promoting their art and making a living from their passion is to dig to the deeper layer and look at mindset and energetics before creating their brand identity and photo shoot mood boards. Yeah, I mean, you could end it there. To dig to the deeper layer and look at mindset and energetics. Full stop. Before we create their brand identity and photo shoot mood boards, and all of the beautiful things we love to play with artists, I want to make sure that the energetics are blah, 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 blah. So good. It's so clear and specific how you help people. I'm very proud of myself for these prompts. Cool. I hope you love this. And, you know, remember, go into the micro. This is another thing that I really struggle with too. Because again, it's that built-in forgetters, the built-in it's not good enough filter. And sometimes it's the smallest thing. Like when I sit down to create my content, I did a 5-minute meditation today. Or I do a 5-minute meditation every morning. And like, maybe, you know, maybe it's something like that, which for me, I'm like, yeah, I meditate every day. But that for somebody is a huge goal for them. And I know the value that adds to my content creation process when I'm connected to myself. And I'm so oblivious to it because it's been my habit for years and years and years and years. So, you know, obviously the fastest way to get into the micro and to be so clear about the value that some of the small things that you do is super valuable is to just be talking to people, talking to clients. And if you don't have clients, be talking to people in your community, be doing research interviews, be doing brainstorms, be doing live streams, you know, be in Facebook groups, be on social media. And I actually have a really great freebie around this on my website with sarahmac.com. It's called 7 Tips to Get Over Imposter Syndrome. And it just shares a bunch of ways that you can get into conversation with your ideal client, because that's going to give you so much great insight for some of the smaller or like day-to-day questions that people have that you can really add a lot of value around in your content. So, okay, we've got some more. Carolina, one way I help my clients bring their ideas to life when they're experiencing challenges with showing up as leaders is by encouraging them to engage in collaborative work with entrepreneurs. I love that. Yes, and you know what? You could go into an even another level of specificity. Showing up as leaders where? In their career, in their work, in their home life, in their client community, in their client work, in their content, right? And maybe you do help people in a broad number of ways, but you can get even more micro on this one specific post. Even if not all of your clients are entrepreneurs and are creating content, you could use that as an example of, you know, or like as a mother. And, you know, the golden rule is if you've experienced this, talk about it, because you want to attract people that want to learn about the things that you've experienced, because ultimately these are going to be the people that you can add the most value to. So yeah, you can get into even more specificity around that. Awesome work, everybody. Okay, so I want to share a little bit about my process for getting better at including these specifics. So as you can see, I'll use a prompt or a framework, get down whatever wants to come up, like be in writing flow. Like I said, having some type of pre-writing ritual that gets you into your body, that gets you out of your head, feeling good, whether that's journaling, watching some content like this, doing like a movement meditation, breath work, chanting, whatever. 3 minutes. It doesn't have to be a whole circus. And then write what's true for you, write what you care about, write what's meaningful. And then come back, like I just did with you guys, and just be like, how can I tighten this up? How can I insert one more specific detail? And maybe you want to do that a couple of times, you know, because like I said, this is a challenging process. We resist this. So build that into your process of, okay, I'm going to write it, and then I'm either going to do a once over after I've written it, or I'm going to walk away and I'm going to come back to it and reread it and ask the specific question. Where can I add some more specifics? So Now you have your list of some of the results that you have created, that your clients create and desire. Use that and just plug that into your content, and it's automatically going to make it more specific. So go back, insert a couple of lines of story. Like, it can literally be a word or two of results that just brings the context down into even more specificity that makes you even more obvious choice for your clients. So, and frame your posts around your specific results. Lead with that in your opening line, in your hook, in your captions, in the titles on your reels. Oh, my laptop isn't plugged in. Standing desk issues. Give me one sec. There we go. Frame your posts around your specific results, and remember, your content can go broad with your wins, and it can go really, 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 really micro. Like how I led myself today, how I got myself out of a funk today, how I, Megan, for you, like reorganized my cutlery drawer today, right? Like, you don't have to talk about the whole big result all the time. Those small things are really valuable for your clients, and then it's just going to pique curiosity. They're like, oh, she offered me so much value around this. Like, this shifted the way I think around this. This is planting a seed for change for me that, I didn't know about or I didn't think about. Like, what more could she possibly offer me around those bigger results? Like, I want to know more. It's going to just draw them in with curiosity for support around those bigger things. But don't hide in the micro. You have to lead with your big shiny wins when you want people to part with big shiny dollars. So yeah, practice, practice, practice. And obviously, getting into the specifics, you are going to have to narrow down the specific wins to pitch your offer clearly. And this is really the work I do with my clients in my Cosmic Brand Story Intensive, is to do that work, to be like, okay, like, what are the shiny results? What are the biggest actual desires of your client? What's the language that they're using? What have you done? Because we just have our blind spots around how epic we are and how much we've accomplished, like I mentioned before. So we'll really use that space to do the work, to get really clear on the positioning and the storytelling for your specific offer. So again, that is so clear, and give your client everything that they need to know to make a confident buying decision. They need to be so clear, when I buy this offer, this is the result that I'm going to get. And really, one of the most valuable things about going through this process with your offer is giving you the clarity to feel so confident in exactly what you're selling. So I'm offering a coupon for $100 off my Brand Story Intensive with the code COSMIC100. And if you sign up by Friday, I will give you lifetime access to this masterclass as well. So feel free to message me if you have questions about that. And if you love this way of working with your astrology chart, and you know that having support with content can make it fun and easy and consistent in reaching those 5-figure launches and 6-figure years in a business that you love, doing work that you love with clients that you adore, then you will absolutely love my 3-month private mentorship. And I have a very exciting announcement that I have actually rebranded it with a new name. It was called High Ticket Soul Clients, and I'm now rebranding it. I've been using my astrology to go through this giant rebrand right now, which, if you listen to my podcast, you'll hear about my updates around that. But my new name is Sell Your Magic Like Magic. And I'm actually going to go through your entire astrology chart and create custom prompts on your major placements that really bring out your gifts and leverages your challenges in your brand storytelling. So very similarly to like I've created today, you're going to get a personalized, beautiful content prompt document as something for you to work on, to feel really inspired, to be clearly guided to the storytelling and the parts about you that really, have the most power to attract soulmate clients who really are the perfect fit to work with you. And, they'll be able to understand the parts about your story that really show them who you are. So you're so clear on how to do that. And when you get good at this, you don't need sales calls. And I'll show you how your content will do all the selling for you, so you can have freedom and simplicity in your business. This is really the vision behind my business, and really my intention for all of my clients is that we only work with soul clients. We only have incredible relationships, that compatibility where it's actually easy to help them, because who we are naturally is the medicine that they most need. And that leads to easy sales processes. You know, they can fill in an application, they can reach out by DM, you send them the link to sign up and buy, because they're already so confident and clear in who you are and why you're the perfect match for them. And this is really my reality. I've had 5-figure launches using repurposed content from previous launches while I'm traveling and on vacation. I never work long hours or weekends. I focus my time and energy on what actually makes me money on repeat every month. And this Sell Your Magic Like Magic is where I get to teach you how to get there for yourself in your business. And we do that daily via Voxer coaching, where you get edits and feedback and guidance to learn these skills and to use them in your content with more power, and to improve your abilities to make money online. And really, I'll keep you focused only on the activities that make you more money and that get you in front of your soulmate clients, to create more time and space for your life outside of your business, to travel, to rest, to spend time with family, write a book if you want. I'm finishing my book now, which I've been wanting to write for a long time. And it took me really getting to this place of simplicity in my business to give me the bandwidth to invest money and time and support into that creative project, which has just brought me so much joy. And I'm also very excited to share with you. So I'm just going to tell you about a special offer, and then we can move on to questions. So if there is anything else that you would like my feedback on, please pop it in the chat. So for the next 48 hours, this replay will be up for free before it becomes a paid product. And if you join my 3-month private mentorship, Sell Your Magic Like Magic, I'm going to gift you a bonus additional 90-minute call. And like I said before, if you book a Cosmic Brand Story private intensive, where we can refine your offer, write your sales page, get you so clear on what you're selling and which parts of your story to lead with to easily attract soulmate clients, you can get $100 off with the code COSMIC100, plus you get lifetime access to this masterclass. And if you loved this class and you would like lifetime access to it, I'll give you a 50% off code, which is Rising50. So I'm going to drop the links in the chat, and then I'm going to come and see how you guys are doing. I would love to know your takeaways and what has been coming up for you, and obviously any questions that you have. And this special offer is until Friday, 5 p.m. PST. So it's kind of a busy message, but all of the links are in there. And I'll send you an email with them as well. So yay, we did it. Oh my God, it's 1:11, make a wish. This has been so fun. Okay, what have we got over here? Maria, how I help my clients go from feeling unseen, ignored, ashamed of, and unloved to feeling, you could just say ashamed. I would remove ashamed. To feeling fully seen, heard, and celebrated. Fully seen, heard, celebrated, and adored above all others. And to even add more specificity, you could say in your romantic relationship. I love that. And you could, I know you talk about relationships more broadly, so you could do this one for in your relationship with your parents, in your relationship with your family, in your relationship with your sister, or anything that you feel would be a valuable teaching point. And again, one way that you can also flip these prompts is tell an I story. Like, this is always really, really powerful. So you could say how I went from feeling unseen, ignored, and unloved to feeling fully seen, heard, and celebrated in my romantic relationship. Like, people are going to want to read that, right? That's like real embodiment. I feel like I need to add that to the spreadsheet because that's a really, really powerful way of writing. Megan, one way I help my clients create more calm in their homes when they're experiencing challenges with their high standards, so good, is to do one thing at a time to clear the clutter for good and to and to create a mind-body connection. So good. I would say the create a mind-body connection, that's a little vague to me, but you could just finish it to do one thing at a time to clear the clutter for good, full stop. And you could mention the mind-body connection in the post, but make sure that you're really, really crystal clear. So another technique that is really, really helpful is when you're trying to explain a concept, imagine you're taking a photo of that happening and unfolding in real life. Describe what you see in that image. Is that them having a conversation, thinking specific words, asking specific words, signing up for something, saying no to something? Like, what actions are they taking? How are they feeling? What are they saying? And then obviously the details that you anchor that story in is going to give people so much more information around what the hell you're talking about and how that relates. Any specifics you give just like gets rid of people who aren't a great fit for you and draws people in who are like, oh yeah, that's how I imagine doing it. That's how I want to do it. She's the one for me. You're welcome, Carolina. Okay. Malvina. One way I help clients one way I help my clients get reconnected to their holistic self, reclaiming their true essence, and get healthier inside and out, redefining their purpose and smile at life again, especially when they're experiencing challenges with their health and mindset, to shift and transform to become the amazing, creative, and buzzing beings they are. So cute. Okay, there's way too much in this post. The thing that really stands out to me, so these are pretty vague concepts, right? Reconnected to their holistic self. What the hell does that mean? Reclaiming their true essence again. What does it look like? If you were going to take a photo of your client doing this, what would we see? The get healthier inside and out, that is the most tangible standout result for me. So you could lead with that. One way I help my clients get healthier inside and out, and I mean, each of these concepts could be their own post, but we'll talk about how you can get a little more specific on that. One way I help my clients get healthier inside and out when they're experiencing challenges with their health and mindset. Okay, challenges with their health and mindset. Get into one more layer of specificity around that. And again, pick one, you know? You could just pick health. What is a challenge that they're experiencing with their health? When they're experiencing extreme fatigue, or when they're experiencing burnout, or when they're experiencing digestive disturbances or mindset, you know, when that, what is another challenge? Like every time you write a concept like this, do like a little specificity ladder and ask, what are some examples of what I mean by this? Okay, mindset. When they are judging where they're at with their health, when they are giving themselves a hard time for not sticking to their healthy habits, when they are making excuses for not eating well, when they're making excuses for going to bed again late, you know, going to bed late again. So this is where you want to use your own life as a way to pull specifics and ask, when I was reconnecting to my holistic self, what was the way that I was doing that? What are some specifics? And just list them out. You know, it could be, I started meditating daily. I started journaling daily. I don't know, created more balance in my work-life schedule, or like cut back my work hours so that I had more time to invest in my self-care. So that, and again, what's an even another level of specificity? I changed my career so that I could commit to 30 minutes of meditation and movement every morning so that I could reclaim my health, right? Can you see how the way that you did it and asking for some of the specifics around that suddenly paints a clear picture? Suddenly I see you on your yoga mat feeling good. Whereas when you say reconnect to your holistic self, there's not an image that comes up for me, or for me, it would maybe be like meditation, but for somebody else, it might be going to the spa, you know? So rooting down into those specific details is going to make a huge difference about how people are able to connect to you and your work. I love redefining their purpose and smiling at life again. Like that paints a picture, right? Picturing someone who's like smiling and the feeling that you've named as they're feeling on purpose and like they've defined their purpose. That's a clear picture. So I also like become the amazing and creative, buzzing beings they are. Again, like I love buzzing beings, like naming that feeling, that's very evocative. But again, it doesn't necessarily give me a picture. Become the amazing creative what? Like creatively expressed mum, creative and successful entrepreneur, creative, like devoted hobbyist, like painter, potter, I don't know, you know? It's like, what do you mean by that? What do you embody as a creative and buzzing being? What is it that you're doing as like a creative soul who commits to her self-care and to like a daily creative practice? How do you define that, and how can you include some more specifics around that? Okay. How have I never thought of that? That's literally my job. Okay, amazing. Such good work, everybody. Thank you so much for being here. This was so fun. I'm going to leave the replay up if you want to leave it, if you want to listen to it again, if you want to take notes, if you want to be in the vibes, keep working with the prompts. And if you go and make some posts with this prompt, tag me. Let me show some love on your content. Please give me feedback on like how this is landing for you as you take this and run with it. And thank you so much for being here. I'm here if you have any questions, if there's anything that you would like support with. If you haven't already checked out my Cosmic Attraction copywriting free series, that was the last one that I did that's really, really epic and shows you how to use your Chiron placement in your messaging. So definitely go and listen to that. That is also on my podcast, the Creative Magic Club podcast. You can listen to it there if you scroll back, but you can sign up and get the emails from my website with sarahmac.com. And I'm sending you so much love. This was so much fun, and I'll see you soon.